Right, guys, we back here on BCP Plus. What a day it's been so far. Lots to talk about. I wanted to do a little SmackDown review here, but some breaking news today. We'll get into that in just a minute. But guys, please welcome back to help me get through this thing. Of course, our A+ player here on BCP Plus, the leader of DFPN, and of course, the No Gimmicks podcast, our good friend, Mr. Kelvin Catley. Kelvin, how you doing this Sunday afternoon?
Well, I was doing good, and then all this news started popping off. So,
Yeah, man.
I'm on alert now.
I mean, initial gut reaction, obviously, guys, it was reported by, I guess, Truth himself, the on Twitter, basically saying, in his words, he had been released, just thank you for everything, very classy tweet. And then Sean Ross had gone on to say, hey, it wasn't hacked, this is legit. Doing my research, it seems that his contract is pretty much coming to an end and will not be renewed. I mean, this comes as just initially, and we can see the outpouring of love. We'll get into that in a minute. This comes as a complete shock to me. I think Truth is money. I mean, he had a stellar promo on SmackDown weeks ago, had a really great match with John Cena, and just such a big part of Cena's arc right now. Was on SmackDown fighting JC Mateo. I mean, this comes as a complete shock to me. What do you got on this, Kelvin? What was your initial reaction?
Well, my initial reaction, it couldn't be what I wanted it to be because I saw this while I was in church. Like, it popped up on my phone.
Yeah.
and my initial reaction was like, I'm this is a work. It has to be. They're working an angle. There's no way R-Truth is going to be released from WWE. He's been there too long. He was just in the match with John Cena at Saturday Night's main event, just in an angle with JC Mateo on SmackDown. The clip is viral for what he did on SmackDown. I was like, they're working an angle. They have to be. And it wasn't until Sean Ross Sapp confirmed it that I was like, this is a mistake. And since then, I've been in a state of shock about it. It's like, this can't be true. It cannot be true, but it is. And one just begs the question, why wouldn't they renew a guy like R-Truth? And some people have come out like BG James, Brian James. He's come out and he's tweeted. He's like, it's the nature of the beast, which I get. But you have a guy, and immediately the outpouring of support for him was like, that guy is pretty important to the locker room, just being there, right? So certain people are worth the money to keep them on the payroll because of their impact on overall morale, the locker room. You have a veteran presence in there that's been around the business long enough to guide and steer you in the right direction. It's like, why would you let that go? But it's business, and clearly the TKO motto of WWE is more business, which you have to understand that too. So it sucks, though. It really sucks.
It does. And I like, with all these kind of things, and guys in the chat, we want to know what your initial thoughts are on this, but some of your favorite R-Truth moments. I almost hate like we're doing this thing, like, and I love that he's getting all his flowers now, but it's like, I don't think he's done in wrestling. He may not even be done with WWE in some form or fashion. We'll get into that later. But Truth has just been so amazing, and I'm very good, Kelvin, at taking the feelings out of it and pulling myself away from it and putting on the business hat. And I'm trying to do that here. And it's like, this guy generates money. Like,
his shirt is number one right now.
Exactly. And I was looking on the shop to see what was still there. The Topps card that they did with him as Ron Cena, it sold out already.
Yep.
The merch, the like, if you want to go by metrics in terms of just like minutes watched, like I wanted to watch Saturday night's main event mostly because of R-Truth versus Cena. And plus, I mean, this goes without saying, but he adds so much levity to everything, and you need that, not to mention just the locker room stuff, man. I'm sure, I mean, you could see by the outpouring, we'll get into that in a minute, just the locker room probably loved him. I certainly wasn't back there, but dude, I mean, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense, even from the business side of things.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. And it's one of those things that it's business, but business over the value of the person. You have to look at that. And I don't think that was actually looked at. If you look at his contract and say, well, I'm not going to renew you, that's purely from a business sense. And that
Yeah.
it's cleaning of the books, really. And is it really worth losing a guy like Truth? Really, is it? And apparently their answer is yes, we can afford to lose him. And I won't understand that. I don't understand that.
I'm being so careful because I don't know what goes on. I don't like speculating. You know me, Kelvin. Part of me feels like, and again, I'm. This is just my gut reaction. This is the business hat is gone. This is
Mhm.
pure feelings. I feel like they were looking to make some cuts, or as you have to do with a business, or save money or whatever it is. I certainly don't know, and maybe it was an age thing, but maybe they say, oh, this guy, like, and I'm thinking like, the maybe the TKO people, not immediately like the WWE
Right.
people. I hate speculating. I really don't know. But just my initial gut is like, he's 53. And that was kind of like an outlier, and like, hey, let's have a discussion about maybe cutting him. And I'm just like, dude still performs at a top tier level, generates money, generates interest, levity. Again, going back to the business side of things, man, I can make an argument. I don't want to say other people should be cut because that's awful, but I can make an argument for him being just I don't want to say a top guy, but a top draw to the company for the shows, for the TV, for the merch, for the storylines, for the levity. We've just seen Carlito put out a tweet saying, "Hey, they're not going to renew his contract."
Mhm.
People are kind of talking about the Miz now. Like, is Miz in his contract year? Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't like the speculation. If you see a guy like Truth, and this goes back to all the cuts, right? Because some of these cuts they made didn't make sense. It just didn't. It goes back to these are head scratchers, and you have people that were in great positions in the company where they were, and now they're no longer with the company. So offline, I was talking, and I was like, this makes me look at people like Natalia, even though Natalia, she's a cornerstone of the women's division. And if you get rid of somebody like Truth, then what position is somebody like her? Like what position is she in? And what other people like her on the roster are in that position? And I don't like looking at that situation like that, but unfortunately, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, man, and it's tough, man. And I want to go to the chat real quick. I have a few more things I'd like to say about Truth, guys, and I apologize. I don't have the chat on screen. I don't know why it's not coming up here. We get between Kelvin and I, we've had like a heck of a lot of. It's just one of those days,
It
where like
is,
the
man.
technology just does not cooperate, but we power through. And I've lost the comments, so I'll see if I can get those up. I don't know why they're not appearing on here, but that's okay. We'll get to it. Real quick, I did want to say while I try to pull on these comments, and forgive me for so rudely looking away, Kelvin. Insert
No, you're
comments,
good,
if it
man.
works. All right, it's going to the wrong one. I'll fix that in a minute. He had an awesome promo leading up to that Saturday night's main event where he's just in the ring by himself. He made everything make sense.
Yep.
He said I was going to beat hustle, loyalty, and respect back into John Cena. And it was a solid match. He did kind of Cena's move. Cena obviously cheated, but again, you need truth for these storytelling things, man. Like, you saw that almost hesitation in Cena. We saw it a little bit in the Orton match. Obviously, Cena, it might have been acting, just to get his way and hit him with the title, but maybe there was really a moment of regret there. And I just think even in the presser, the media scrum, and Truth shows up, like, he's that connective tissue to so many things, man. The backstage segments where,
Yeah.
I think Damian Priest posted the picture with the Judgment Day with him and Rhea holding the belt, and
Yeah.
just Truth there with a smile. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. He was essentially, I hate being like past tense, the wild card, like the wild card with
Yeah,
everything.
in
And
the best way.
you need that. I feel like we will feel that void. We will feel that void without Truth being there. Do you see something coming out of this, Kelvin? Where, and again, I hate speculating, but I always like to think positively. Maybe this is like, oh, he'll have a nostalgia deal, a Legends deal. maybe an agent, like as an agent or producer, because you got to think about the things he was able to do with like the 24/7 championship where McFoley came out, we're like, oh, this is the hardcore title again. And it was like this green 24/7 thing. And as much as people may not have liked it, Truth made it fun. With the golf course and the airplane and what was it, like Maria Kanellis when she was pregnant, like they did all these things with the belt, and you couldn't have done it without Truth. He is so
Right.
valuable, and not just in the ring, but between the ears, man. His brain, I think, could be, worth its weight in gold, man. What do you think about Truth moving forward? What might happen?
Absolutely, man. I it's hard for me to say I want him in a Legends deal, because even then he's not gonna be around as much, right? And you look at all the legends in the Legends deal, truth is more than that. And he has a lot more, to give to the business. You know what I mean? So I would much rather see him active on a roster and contributing. But and you said it best, like he's had his moments inside the ring where he's made the 24/7 title look absolutely an irrelevant title. He's given it some sort of relevancy with the way that they used him. The backstage segments weren't just backstage segments. It was a little bit of action and comedy involved in that. And even when him showing up with Brock Lesnar and pointing out Paul Heyman going over the top rope in the Royal Rumble, some of those things, it just came naturally to him. And so you hate to lose somebody like that. And I think we might have lost. Oh, there he is. but
Yeah, right. I wouldn't leave you hanging, man. So I'm trying to get these comments on the screen, so I'm messing with everything. Yeah, but what a pro, Kelvin. You kept it going even though you wasn't there, man. I'm still here, man. I wouldn't leave you like that, bro.
But
Oh,
no,
man, what a
it's
pro.
it's one of those things. You hate losing somebody like that because his overall contribution, it the intangibles, you can't teach some of the stuff that R-Truth brought to the table. You just can't. His timing was absolutely incredible, and losing something like that and losing what is an influence, stuff like that is very influential backstage,
Yes.
so losing that and losing that influence backstage, it's going to have an impact. As you can already see, the outpouring of support from people that are just gutted with him losing that opportunity to be in the WWE. People are really gutted about that.
And I'm hoping that that outpouring of love from the fans and his colleagues and coworkers is a testament to maybe bringing him back in some way. Wasn't there something? And again, it's a different, ownership, a different regime. But wasn't there something with like Samoa Joe where he got released and then like brought back real quick?
Yep.
I'm hoping it's something like that. He's just so valuable there. There's also been people, and guys, I'll get to the comments. I brought them up on my phone. Thank you for dealing with us. I think Wittes had said it to me. It was basically saying like have Truth like show up at one, TNA and say, I'm here for the casino battle royale, and then go to AEW and say, I'm here for money in the, and just have them hot promotions and all that side. And I think that'd be really fun.
That'd be awesome.
I just don't think you can mention like other people's like matches and events on other people's programming, but that would be cool to see what he does. And if anyone can make lemonade out of this, it's Truth. Let's go to the comments real quick. Mike Mueller in the chat saying Kelvin can't be rattled, a pro's pro, and R-Truth is on the Mount Rushmore of comedic wrestling. Agree, along with Mick Foley, Bobby Heenan, Kurt Angle, who makes that list. I'll throw Santino Marella on there too. I love
most definitely.
Randy in the chat, Front Row Mafia. Thanks for joining, Randy. And guys, share the stream. Keep the chat going. I'll keep up here on my phone. He says, I have a feeling that Natty is next with a heartbreak emoji. Kelvin brought that up. I'm hoping that is not the case because she's doing a lot. User error Rob saying Jeffrey in the chat saying that's TKO cutting fat off the stick. Hey man, sometimes the fat's the candy of the meat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bill Bodkin in the chat, thepopbreak.com saying R-Truth is more over than everyone they brought in from AEW outside of Cody, Penta, and Punk. So Daniel Parker saying Parker King Promotions, not a shocker as far as on screen. You have to look at it as far as how TKO looks at it. He's not used so often. I'll push back on that, Daniel. I think he's, especially in the Cena storyline, I feel like he's been used pretty heavily. If you're talking about R-Truth, that is. Maybe you were talking about somebody else. So I apologize if I'm misreading that. Very, very interesting. But I think there's a lot that R-Truth can do after this. I hope to see him. I don't like, you know me, Kelvin. I don't like doing the thing because I feel like a lot of people kind of see it like through the WWE lens and then the AEW lens, and then like it kind of just affects everyone's thinking. And it's like I don't want to think of it that way. Like I obviously, you don't want to see anyone lose their job, but you want to see people get opportunities. That's my favorite word. But I will say this, and maybe I'm looking at it through a certain lens, and I try not to. WWE feels like home for R-Truth. And I feel like I could see him in TNA. I could see him in AEW. I could see him anywhere. He can do anything. He would add value. I would hope he would be back in WWE in some form or fashion. Do you see that, Kelvin? Maybe I'm just picking with my heart. That's my weakness.
You know what? And this goes back to the K-Quick days when he was originally in WWE, right? And that was home for him. And then he gets released. He goes off to be the NWA champion, the first Black NWA champion in the history of the promotion. And he puts a little bit of buzz back in NWA when NWA was absolutely flatlined. He put a little spark back in there, and then now he's back in WWF or WWE as R-Truth, right? He's had opportunities where he's built his name up outside of the company, and I think if he decides to do that again, it'll be just as relevant, if not more relevant than the first time he did it, because now the industry is in a healthier place, and the opportunity to see his face is more prevalent than it was back then. Even though back then he did make a really good name for himself outside of the WWE. And I do think with him leaving, in this cases like the Hurt Syndicate, right? The Hurt Syndicate, WWE felt absolutely like home for all three of those guys.
Fair point.
But you take them in AEW and they just fit. And I could see a situation like that for R-Truth. If he goes and decides to go back to TNA, which he was there before, it could be an absolute fit for him. It really could work out for him. Also, GCW is becoming a home for a lot of people that just want to shake the rust off, keep themselves going. That could be an option for him too. So he's got options way more than he had outside the WWE, his first run outside of it. But I think wherever he decides to go, the love is going to follow him there. So.
Yeah, and very fair point, Kelvin. You brought up a lot of good stuff as always. I do want to say this before we move on. You had Truth possibly being a contender for that WWE championship. You had Truth possibly beating John Cena. To me, that's as close to main event picture as you get, man. Like it boggles my mind. And let me say this again, guys. I'm very good at putting on the business hat and taking the feelings out of it. I can just real quick. And it still doesn't make sense to me. I still don't get it. If I'm talking dollars and cents, I feel like this man is money in all the ways he could. Maybe they just looked at his age and dude, the guy is still performing at a top level. It does not make sense.
Like he's in his 20s still, man.
Oh
I don't know.
I don't know. And he looks fantastic. Yes,
he looks amazing.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I want to look like that when I'm 53.
Yeah, you will, man. I know you will, man. I know you're doing those splits in the ring. All right. Real quick, Kelvin, let's do our little SmackDown review. Guys, keep the comments going. I can't bring them on screen. But let us know what you guys think about what's going on with R-Truth. I know certainly his colleagues, there's been a lot of tweets. I've seen quite a few saying, how they're kind of blown away by this and how he's just one of the best people that they know in the locker room, man. So this is a hit. This is a big hit. I'm sure to morale on some level. And from a business angle, I personally believe it's a hit to the business as well of WWE, but we'll certainly find out. I did want to talk about SmackDown real quick, Kelvin. We open up with Bianca Belair, home of Knoxville, it's Tennessee. Great to see her back in the ring, but unfortunately unable to compete. You can see she's got the kind of the brace on her fingers that she broke. Total babyface promo. And then they kind of try to recreate that magic with her and Naomi. They've had some emotional promos. Naomi, again, able to be angry, but cry at the same time. To be able to cry, you see the tear rolling down her cheek. Any actor that can do that, I give credit to, especially in pro wrestling. I always say pro wrestling acting. Let's get that asterisk. But really good job by Naomi. Jade Cargill comes out. Nia Jax. We have the triple threat for the Money in the Bank qualifying match. And Naomi gets the win here, which is great. I remember in the past, we talked about her possibly winning the briefcase and coming out with like a light up briefcase. Guys in the chat, we will do our Money in the Bank picks later this week. Kelvin, you're obviously very welcome. I'll hit you up on the side. Right. But so Naomi qualifies here. I'm thinking it's going to be Jade. I think Jade's getting better and better. And she has such a star presence. Like once she has gotten everything down in between the ropes, like perfect, just like the little tiny things. It's like, and again, I'm not a wrestler. I'm not coming from any place of experience. So with all respect, I feel like Jade is almost there. I thought she would win this and be in the Money in the Bank ladder match for sure. It's interesting to see who makes it because there's a lot of heavy hitters. I don't want to say I was surprised to see Naomi, and Naomi's one of my favorites. I love what she's doing now, but I thought Jade was going to win this match. Do you, Kelvin, think Jade should have been in the Money in the Bank match? Do you think it's time for Jade to win some singles gold, or is she not there yet?
It's hard for me to say she's not there yet because she's in the WWE, and once you're at that level, you are exactly what they need, you know. So, is it her time? I don't necessarily know that because we haven't seen a lot of Jade. We just haven't.
Fair enough.
So I need a little more proof to the pudding here in the ring from her. I need her to be more insight because when she's out of sight, she's out of mind, in my opinion. And for as good as she looks, as much of an aura that she has, she absolutely has it. We just don't see enough of her. So give me more Jade, give me more meaningful Jade. Like, there's no reason her and Naomi should not be in a feud right now. Like, actively, week to week. We should see them. Point. Yeah, they should be there week to week because Naomi is the catalyst for everything. And with Bianca out of the way, right? Jade should absolutely be it should be a chase right now. And even though Naomi walked out, I absolutely like the decision of Naomi walking out of this because she's ultimately the bad guy in all of this, right? And it's basically, you guys took the spotlight from me. I'm taking it back. It's her live revenge tour. It's her personal revenge tour. She wants the spotlight. She's going to take it back. And then she did this in a triple threat match where she absolutely should not have walked out of it, and now she is. I absolutely like what they're doing with her, but I need her and Jade to be. I need them to be in a feud with each other because both ladies will lift each other in the long run. So that would be my only thing. But is it her time? I thought once she got there, I thought there was going to be a rocket strapped to her.
So, I had her to win the Rumble.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. She should be champion right now because she absolutely has the look. Just give me more in ring with her. Give me a reason to be like, that's the lady that should be holding this title.
And maybe the feud with Naomi would be the one that got her there. Naomi's fantastic in the ring. Kelvin, you are so right.
They had a great match at Mania.
They did. You're some really cool moves too. You're so right, Kelvin. I think it's almost one of those things like we kind of forget like the little things. Like you're saying, yeah, like they need to fight more and they need to fight one-on-one, and there needs to be like a bigger payout. Like I like that they addressed it a little bit on SmackDown, but there needs to be like in the cage or like something that where like it needs to be a little bit more personal. Like this is where you would want a stipulation match. Like, right. And I completely didn't even realize that until you said it. It's just like, wait a minute, hold on, back up. Like we need Jade v Naomi for sure. So we'll see what we could do. We'll go to the comments real quick. Let's see what you guys got. Wittis, we were just talking about you. He said, I want him to show up in TNA with that Ron Killings personality, at least for a little bit. Okay. With us in the chat saying Naomi's grossly underrated. Always thought she was a different finisher away from another tier. Yeah, I've been a huge Naomi fan for a long time. And
Absolutely.
Jeffrey T. Fountain in the chat saying, I just want Truth to be able to put the Jays in the ring and retire properly. Yes. That you know what? That's actually a great point. Not to say he needs to retire. I don't think he needs to retire. We're just going on how good he is. But it needs to be on his terms, man. I think that's a great point.
I agree with that.
Great point. All right, let's move on. SmackDown. Good stuff. Jeffrey T. Fountain, Jeffrey Yeet Fountain. And Truth again on SmackDown. Solid match with JC Mateo. And then showing Truth's value. I know this is becoming a very pro-Truth show, but I'm saying what I mean here. Made JC Mateo look like a star in one of his first singles matches on SmackDown. He did a great job. And then we had this kind of tag team rendezvous where all the tag teams came out and started yelling at each other. Lights drop. Wyatt Six come out and terrorize the tag teams, hit the pose. So maybe we see like a Gacy Loomis tag run or something like that. I feel at times they're not sure where to go with the Wyatt Six. So maybe a tag team run or something like that. What do you think about the Wyatt Six? What do we do with them, Kelvin?
You have opportunities here, and especially with titles like the US title, the women's US title being introduced. Like you have situations that you could go with the entire faction, right? So put Nikki Cross in there, let her chase the US title, put her up against the US title, let her put some relevancy there and make this group look a little bit stronger. And I agree with you. They look like they don't have any type of direction for them. They're just flying. And I would love to see them in something meaningful. Yes, I do love that they did come back. They came back on was it Bray's birthday?
Yes, it was. Good call. Yes, they did. And they blew at the guy. I forgot about that. Yes.
Yep. They came back, and it was nice to see them, especially seeing them just dominate everyone and look strong. Keep them looking strong, but keep them chasing something, right? So you can do Loomis and Gracie and Gacy. Sorry, you can do them for the tag titles. You could do Uncle Howdy versus put him in the United States title picture, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be the world title picture. Like you could have them dominate the mid card. Just put Wyatt Six being the mid card, and you can make something relevant for every title on that show, minus the WWE title, just with that faction chasing the titles. I think you could do something absolutely incredible with them. So let them loose, cut the leashes off, let them loose, let them run roughshod over the roster like they did when they debuted, because that was awesome. And then make them strong.
Great point, Kelvin. I love it because it gives me some sort of direction with them. I want to phrase this very carefully and respectfully. So keep me in check here, Kelvin. I feel that they need to break away. We know what that is. It's an extension of Bray, which is cool, and it needs to be, and it's awesome that all these people have opportunity. We see Rowan back, Gacy, one of our guys. I have one of Gacy's old masks over here. From the Northeast. It's so cool to see. But like you said, Kelvin, I'm not saying they need to break away from the nostalgia. That sounds disrespectful. I feel like, and I know so many people that have been affected by Bray, people around here in the Indies that were in NXT, and he really took them under his wing. I just think that they need to, like you said, not even just chase titles, but like I need a story that moves forward and something like I did, like use the Bray stuff, use the Easter eggs, use the we had the puppets showing up in the background or little things, the creativity. And then that's why we miss Bray too, is that he was so brilliant with those ideas. I think Triple H had even said at times there were just so many ideas they didn't know how to control the fire that was Bray Wyatt. And I think this is not Bray Wyatt, and you don't have his brain, but you have so many people that were close to him and so many up and comers and creative minds that we can do something more than that. Did I say that?
No, that was perfect.
Okay,
That
yeah.
was perfect.
With no disrespect, because none of this happens without Bray. I love that they brought the cake into the ring for his birthday. And I love this Y6 thing is really, really fun. At this point, I need more meat on the bone now. Selfishly, I think that's what I want to say.
I agree with you. I
So
agree with you.
maybe some tag gold, because the tandem moves between Loomis and Gacy look really great. They're power bombing each other on everybody. Gacy did that back handspring double clothesline, which is awesome. Zelina Vega defeated Alba Fire. Singles match, Chelsea making lemonade. We knew she would with the nose break. She had Kelvin like a little Chelsea face on a stick that she put in front of her. And then Al just told her to take it away. He's like, I can't hear you. Pulls it away. And then Piper Niven puts another one in front of her. And then she has the bedazzled mask. She just, man, not even wrestling. It just made every second count. It was so good.
The intangibles.
Exactly, man. And see Alba in the ring. And of course, Zelina, yes, the championship was not on the line. I'm just checking right now.
No.
But Zelina wins here. Really fun match. But Zelina still, you can see her walking to the back, still a little tear in her eye. Like, very emotional. This US title means a lot to her, man. And that was very cool to see. Are you liking seeing Zelina, or was he? I think you might have said Chelsea should have kept. I'm trying to remember. Was it you?
No, I actually like Zelina with the title.
Okay.
I do think Chelsea was a great champion.
Yes.
I'm starting to change my tune on Zelina a little bit. I do think she's a good champion. That promo with her going to the memorial, the 9/11 memorial, like that did a lot for me. It really did. You gave me a little bit of emotional attachment for her. So I do want to see her do that. But again, if we're going back to the Y6, give her a credible threat, someone that can chase after that title, right? It doesn't have to be funny. It doesn't have to be comedic. And if you want her reign to mean something, right? She's different. She's different from Chelsea in the fact that she's put in a lot of work. She's had to fight, scratch, claw. Give her a threat. Give her a credible threat. Someone that can breathe down her neck a little bit, put a little threat to that title. You see with her tears in her eyes, like it means something to her, and have her defend it. We're in the lane now that we need to give credible stories to her. So, and that's pretty much the women's division as a whole, right? Because we see them out there and they're busting their butts. Give us some credible stories with these ladies. Do what you're doing with Naomi, right? Naomi's reinvented herself, and they're starting to attach a great story to her. I would like to see that with all the women. Unfortunately, that's not really the case. Right, you have ladies with titles and they have incredible stories. Tell some of those stories more.
Yeah, and I think you killed two birds with one stone, saying, "Hey, let's take the Y6 thing, let's take Zelina, and let's see Nikki Cross, a little singles action." Yeah, I would love to see how that's presented. And speaking of singles action, you like that little segue there. We have Damian Priest basically calling out Jacob Fatu, saying essentially his thing with Drew is done now. Priest is standing tall. He comes to the ring with a big shiner and basically calls up and very respectfully saying, I like you, Fatu. I know you from back in the day, the indies, this and that. I like you. I respect you. I want your gold, but I still like you. I respect you, but I don't like the crew that you roll with. I don't like your crew. And no, he's like, check that. He's like, you, instead of they roll with you, he's like, you roll with them, something like that. So it was a really cool promo. I'm liking Priest more and more. Where's Gina when I need her? And Priest slowly walks to the back while Fatu makes his entrance, and they kind of just do that, look at each other, and they do like the respectful nod. I like that a lot. What do you think about Fatu possibly defending against Damian Priest? Is this a good spot for a former world champion in Damian Priest?
I do like this spot. I love the call out. And as respectful as it was, I know because Punishment Martinez and Jacob Fatu had some bangers back in the day. So
the deal.
I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. So they're going to give me what I want if they get in the match with each other. Yes, make it happen. And also that kind of set it was a little seed planting going on there. It's like you roll with them. They don't necessarily roll with you. And that may have created more dissension than there was with Jacob Fatu's match. Jacob saying, I don't need your help. Like, don't help me. And those words might have hit him a little bit more this time. Like, I'm warning you, stop getting in my business. I don't need you. Don't roll with me. You know what I mean? Don't have me rolling with you. I like that. I like the setup.
Yeah. And I just want to say real quick before we move on, Kelvin, Andrade moves on to becoming Mr. Money in the Bank, or to qualify to be in that match, of course, defeats Carmella Hayes and the U.S. champion Fatu, who had come out. So that was the next match. A lot of moving parts there. It's interesting to me, these Money in the Bank triple threats, they've all been really, really good, and it's cool to see. But I am wrong every time I pick the winner in these matches, Andrade. And it's great to see Andrade. I think they're also doing a good job mixing the face and heels, but also, like, we want some high flyers in these ladder matches too. So I think even the Naomi of it all, I'm like, oh, she's perfect for ladder matches. So I think that's important. I also wanted to say real quick, Kelvin, there was a little, I don't know if you guys saw, it was like a subtle, quick backstage segment with LA Knight. I believe he's in the Money in the Bank match, and he's, doing his promo backstage with, I think, Byron. And Aleister Black kind of comes in at the end of the promo, and he's just like, oh, like, I kind of helped you in, like, you're welcome kind of a thing. So there was like a little exchange between them, and LA Knight just kind of left speechless, just kind of like, this guy, like, Aleister Black v LA Knight. What do you think about that, Kelvin?
I like it. I'm not gonna hate it. I like it. And it gives both guys something credible to do. And if it leads to Money in the Bank or some type of situation, more power to them. I like the move. There's things happening, even though I don't like the length of SmackDown. There's things that they're starting to get into that keep me entertained, keep me plugged in. So if you're going to give me 3 hours, I think what they did this past Friday with the amount of storytelling that they did and setting up, they're starting to find their groove with that time and make every minute of it count. So having something like that wedged in the middle of this show, I'm for it. I'm all for it.
Perfectly said. Yeah, the 3 hours does feel long. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
but sometimes they really do make the most of everything. This one was solid. There was one a couple weeks ago that was like really, really good. It depends what's on there. You got to make every minute count, like you said. But again, utilize those minutes. Utilize those people that are sitting in catering. And use some of those extras while you're at it too. For all our indie pals, we represent. And then the show to close on SmackDown, we have pretty standard Cody Rhodes promo. Hey, let's have the big pop. Jey Uso's here tonight. Great entrance for Jey. He runs it back with the encore. Who interrupts? I believe it was Cena first. Then he calls out Logan Paul. Cena is just singing Logan Paul's praises. They're best friends all of a sudden. No rhyme or reason to it other than the John Cena is bad, and he's ruining wrestling, Kelvin. He's ruining it for all of us. He's teaming with Logan Paul, which ruins it even more. This tag match, I think, is solid, though, for Money in the Bank. We're not defending these championships. We have 4 really top guys. We have 3 top guys in Logan Paul in a match. and this gives opportunity for those guys, but I like that the titles are on the line. And then a little exchange between the 4 of them. Cody Rhodes stands tall. Jey Uso stands tall. Cody grabs the title, holds the title up high with Jey Uso next to him with the World Heavyweight Championship. And just that imagery, Kelvin, it felt right, man. You know the history between them two. Jey and Cody standing tall with those titles. Now, even though there's no titles on the line yet, this is a tag match of Money in the Bank. This is going to be fun. There's going to be some X factor. It ain't not Travis Scott, and I don't think it's The Rock, but there's going to be some X factor. There's going to be something happening here. But just the image of the 2 of them standing tall, it felt right, Kelvin.
It felt like a bit of foreshadowing to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's be honest. And we made our list over on bcp-plus.com, who we think Cena's, I believe, as of now, has 22 dates. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the chat, left. I'll say half of those, or less than half, will be matches. So we said 10. We all came together. I was really happy with our list. We even had some honorable mentions. But I think Cody Rhodes has to be one of those guys, and possibly could be the last guy, or one of the last guys that Cena faces. Because I think Cody's going to hold that title again, man. Where do you see this going? How long does this take?
I think by the end of SummerSlam, we will see a title change.
Really, by the end of SummerSlam here in New Jersey,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, I think by the end of
Wow.
that night, I think Cody's gonna win it back. So I think I think Cena's run for what it was, it's he's done some good stuff. And I think by the end of SummerSlam, I think letting it go, close out the year strong, and ride off into the sunset. He's already hinted that I can't really do too much anymore. So I got to be really smart with my time, which I think by the end of SummerSlam, we get a good match out of him and Cody, maybe, and Cody takes it that night. So
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. SummerSlam, that'll be here, man. I'm really looking forward to that. That would be cool to see, and we'll see what develops by then, because we will have new Mister and Mrs. or Miss Money in the Bank, as it were. Real quick, Calvin, before we get out of here, and thanks for jumping on. I did want to ask you, man. Trick Williams, we talked about. We did not see this coming, bro. We've got some pushback in the chat, and we're like, no, they can't do this. They did it. It's a bold move. Real quick, your thoughts, just because we talked about it, your thoughts on that TNA championship actually changing hands to Trick Willie, and Trick Willie now being the face of TNA wrestling.
First of all, shock and awe, because I didn't think they would ever do something like this. But I gotta admit, seeing Trick with the TNA title and him adopting this persona that he has, I'm kind of liking it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not want to see that title leave Joe Henry. He was a great champion. Like I said, he was a great ambassador for the brand. But seeing Trick with the title, man, although it's shocking, I can't hate it. And as much as I did not like the move, I like the response from the TNA locker room to him holding this title. It seems like he's created a very big target on his back. Everyone in that locker room is unhappy about him taking this title from Joe Henry. And we're seeing guys like they're being very vocal. I need to defend TNA's honor. I need that title needs to come back to this brand, to one of our guys, because a WWE guy holding this title is not good for us. This makes us look very weak. So I do like the response from the TNA locker room, and the fact that someone like Mike Santana, who's been on BCP Plus, shout out to you, Mike Santana. Go check out that interview. Very good interview. If I wasn't a fan of Mike Santana before that interview, I became a bigger fan of his afterwards. And to see someone like him on WWE television openly calling out Trick Williams, like, my heart warmed 1,000%. Like, if I was the Grinch, I wasn't anymore. So I like seeing the response from guys like Mike Santana saying, hey, this is for us. It's not for you. I want that title, and I want to put TNA on my back, and I'm absolutely all for it. So as much as I don't like Trick Williams as the champion, I like someone like Mike Santana getting the opportunity to say, hey, I want to step in the ring and I want to defend TNA's honor. And you may think I'm the underdog in this situation, but I can absolutely be the man to take that title. And personally, I love the story of Mike Santana. I really do. I love the story. I've been following them since they were in TNA as LAX.
Yep.
Seeing them go from AEW and all the trials and tribulations they had in AEW to see Mike Santana in this position, personally, I love it. I really do love it. So
great. And all the things that he's overcome, man.
Yep.
It's incredible, man. Will Tuesday be the day for Mike Santana? I do have him as a future TNA world champion. We'll certainly see. Will it be Tuesday? I don't know, man. He called out Joe when Joe was the champion. Now it's in the hands of a heel. So maybe it made Santana's time on Tuesday. Maybe not. We'll certainly see if history does get made again. Calvin, thank you so much for joining us. Oh, and real quick before I forget, Joe Henry will address everything, I believe, on Impact this coming Thursday, according to my sources. So we'll certainly tune in for Impact over on TNA Plus. Calvin, tell everyone where they can follow you, all the good stuff you got going on, and thanks for joining, man.
Oh, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. DDPF, DDFPN.com. Trying to get too far ahead of myself. Go check us out at thedfpn.com. We have a whole bunch of podcasts over there. Too many to name, but they're all doing wonderful work. Please go to thedfpn.com. Check out all the podcasts that we have. Also, No Gimmicks on the DFPN is our wrestling show. Please give us a shout out. Very good stuff going on over there. Check us out here. Before this show, I was actually watching some UFL so I can get my coverage out.
Nice.
UFL, we're covering that here on BCP Plus. Shout out to Mike and Tyler, who are also covering UFL teams. Today will be the end of my coverage because my team is done, but please check them out because their teams are vying for championships. So they will be continuing their coverage. Just make sure you go tap in with them. They are doing some phenomenal work this year. Very proud of those guys and very happy that they are doing the work that they are doing. So, and shout out to you, Rob. Thank you for steering this ship. This is amazing.
I try. You guys make it easy, man. I'm very and I said this in the chat. I've said this for years, man. I'm so proud of our team, the way we conduct ourselves. We're all over the country. We get things done. I'll put us up against any other team, man. We do. I think we do a great job. We have great perspective, and we conduct ourselves for the most part professionally and with decorum, man. So Thank you, Kelvin. I appreciate that. Real quick in the chat, Jeffrey T. Fountain saying Santana for the win, and Dan Lehman. We're going to end it on this saying WWE releases our truth, but then they sign Ron Cena. Guys, thanks for tuning in. And like we always say here on BCP Plus, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. The BCP is brought to you by our favorite store, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in the Englishtown Flea Market in New Jersey from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and online at FunkensteinWrestlingSuperstore.com. Get your favorite wrestling merch, retro video games, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, so much more. It's our favorite store. Thank you, Heather and Dan, for sponsoring the BCP. Also got to welcome back our sponsors, the No Gimmicks Podcast, the podcast that keeps it 100% real 100% of the time. Check out our guy Kelvin, only on the No Gimmicks Podcast. Wrestling All Day, All Night is the best wrestling discussion group on Facebook. We provide more of a community feel here and have wrestling fans introduce other fans to something they may not have seen before, such as old school wrestling, indie wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and so much more. We also strive to be a source of information regarding upcoming wrestler meet and greets and signings. And remember, we're open 24/7, all day, all night. Be sure to follow on socials and join the group on Facebook at Wrestling All Day, All Night. Welcome back our sponsors, Sweet Chin Musings. Sweet Chin Musings is the creation of the reigning, rarely defending, highly disputed champion of wrestling podcast, Mr. Perfect, Mike Mueller, and his tag team partner in crime, Luke Kudialis. SCM focuses on the in-ring product of WWE and AEW, no dirt sheet rumors here, as well as backstage news, predictions, and analysis of characters, storylines, and major pay-per-views. Old school fans, don't worry, we have you covered as well, with a look back on classic matches, top 10 lists, and interactive tournaments that let the fans decide who is truly the best of all time. You can find them at Facebook at Sweet Chin Musings, and check out the podcast on all major podcast platforms. Please welcome back our sponsors on the BCP Plus and the podcast, GPW Productions. GPW provides your promotion or event with top-tier video, audio production, live streaming, and more. I can personally vouch for them in saying they are hands down the best production company I've ever worked with, as they have and continue to work with the likes of AEW, GCW, StarCast, MLW, not to mention the majority of the local independent promotions here in the tri-state area. They can even help you film a vignette or promo for your persona or gimmick. And guess what? GPW doesn't just work in wrestling. No, they cover MMA, boxing, basketball, or any other sporting event as well. On a personal note, I'd like to thank Mike Sesko, Frank Leone, O'Neil Andros, and the team for giving me multiple opportunities to work with them and some of the best talent in the world. Thank you, GPW, and guys, book GPW for your promotion or event today at contact@gpwproductions.com. Please welcome back one of our favorite sponsors, Mania Club. Established in 2015, Mania Club is a WWE-recognized community for fans with an eclectic love for both the world of professional wrestling and raising money for Connor's Cure. During WrestleMania weekend, we host the official tailgate of WrestleMania while also celebrating the life of Conor McCallum. They are the single largest donor within the V Foundation for Connor's Cure with over 150,000 raised. Please donate and join the Facebook group over at Mania Club on Facebook. Donate at jimmyv.org/Mania Club. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for the months of May and June, J. Adam Photography. Jay provides quality, artistic, innovative photography with a quick turnaround time. Be sure to check out his latest ISPW wrestling pics and much more stellar content. Right now, wrestlers can do a special portrait shoot with Jay in Sparta, New Jersey for just $50. Contact Jay at Jay Vogel on Facebook and be sure to follow him across socials. Thank you, Jay, for sponsoring the BCP. Guys, let's welcome in our new pod sponsor, Cooper Groove Grips. When you play Cooper Groove drumsticks, you get increased sensory feedback from your hands, so your grip will naturally loosen, but you have complete control. With that taking place, you don't have fatigue and soreness, which can lead to long-term issues. Guys, as a drummer, Cooper Groove is my drumstick of choice. Sweaty hands aren't a problem. Grip is good. Don't forget to check out their amazing Cooper Groove bats coming out soon. Guys, follow at Cooper Groove Grips on Facebook. Guys, please welcome in our new podcast sponsors, ISPW Weekly, where we dive deep into the world of ISPW, the crossroads of professional wrestling. Join Jumpin' Jay and Total with Tom every week as they interview the stars of the ring, uncover their stories, rivalries, and the electrifying action that defines ISPW. Be sure to check out ISPW Weekly on the ISPW Facebook page every week. Please welcome in our new pod and daily site sponsor, Twisted Shamrock Studios and Spa, located in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Twisted Shamrock is a retro spa experience for the average Joe and Jane. Meet the next evolution of recovery and relaxation. Right now, you can try their introductory offer, where you can try a core service to include massage, skincare, facials, stretch therapy, body slimming, toning, personal training, and spray tanning for 30 minutes for just $30. This is perfect for our wrestling pals as well. Book today. Call 484-574-8868 or visit www.twistedshamrockstudiospa.com. Guys, please welcome back our returning podcast sponsor, USDN. USDN Podcast is run by USDN Chairman and the Council of Nerds. We bring you all the latest news and rumors from the world of nerds and consolidate it right here at the U.S. Department of Nerds. USDN is for the people, by the people, and of the people. Follow them at facebook.com/US Department of Nerds. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for 2025, the Ropes and Riffs podcast, featuring Maestro John Kiernan speaking with the stars of professional wrestling about their in-ring, tunage, gear, and so much more. Check out John's interviews with the likes of Lince Dorado, Mercedes Martinez, and so much more. Find the Ropes and Riffs podcast on all major podcast platforms. Guys, please welcome in our new podcast sponsor, EM Collectibles, featuring live signings, collectibles, toys, and more. Be sure to follow them on Facebook and stay tuned for their upcoming events. Upcoming events right now, March 8th, Hernando Toy and Comic Show, the Hernando County Fairgrounds live signing with Super Crazy. March 22nd, Neg Dog Championship Wrestling presents Music and Mayhem in Hudson, Florida with special guest Super Crazy. March 29th and 30th, 2025 Syracuse Collectors Con in Syracuse, New York with Bill Alfonso, Gary Wolf, and the quintessential stud muffin Joel Gertner, March 30th only. April 5th, New England Fan Fest, and we'll have Buff Bagwell. April 13th, 2025, our premiere show, Bring Back the Memories Toy Show, and May 10th, our renowned 90s Wrestling Con in Morristown, New Jersey, guests to be named soon. BCP is sponsored by Warriors of Wrestling. Saturday, May 10th at Most Precious Blood Church in Brooklyn, New York, featuring former TNA superstar James Storm. Also featuring The Allfather, Darius Carter, Danny Moff, Chris Steeler, TJ Marconi, Warriors champ Roger Mendez, Danny Storm, Mike Titello, and a whole lot more. Get your tickets now at warriorsofwrestling.com. BCW and Shadow Wrestling Alliance present Anniversary 8, a Jurassic celebration honoring the life of Vince Steele. Live Sunday, May 25th at the Mecca in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. Doors at 5, bell